together. So that's what we did. And several of us were lucky enough to get into Alliance Air, and we started building, that's why I started building my networks from, especially with, even now there were obviously our managers who were really influential people in Uganda. So it was nice, and it was a great opportunity to learn from them, to be close to them, become their friends, and they become our mentors. So that was very enlightening for me. It was such a big thing, and it was one of the things I had to seek out. People who are influential in society, get to know them, get to be their friends, get to associate with them, because from there opportunities definitely come your way. And also it's nice to have influential friends, you know, people you can call out whenever you need anything. So, going back to personal branding, I'm going to share with you in sort of a narrative, so you can pick out what you think is relevant and what you think, because I want you to understand how important it is to have a personal brand. I wish somebody had talked to me where you are at now, so that I know I would have been more deliberate. I would have really forced it, and I think I would have been a bigger brand. But because I was lucky enough to, anyway, get it immediately after, I grabbed onto everybody I could, get knowledge from to build my personal brand. And maybe that's how I ended up being Sheila Kangwet. Sometimes I get described, and I also can't believe it's me, because I'm a very simple, down-to-earth person, okay? So, I want to ask, okay, we now know what a personal brand is. Do you know why you need to have a personal brand, especially today? Today, there's so many people in the world now. You have to stand out. You have to be unique. You have to be remembered. People meet so many people. So what will make you stand out? What will make me remember you over the next person? Because you're going to go join companies, do your own businesses. You want me to be able to call you. And that's what I want to first ask you to do. Identify what you want to be known for. In your various courses that you're doing, you obviously are aiming to be something, correct? So you need to identify what you want to be known for. If you're going to join, because we're in the food science place, I keep thinking someone is doing food science amongst you. Is there? Oh, okay. So you're the nutritionist people, eh? Yes. Now, do you want to be a dietitian, a nutritionist? Because, those are, by the way, things that are going to now be needed, professionals in that field. So, is that what you want to develop? So you ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? Personally, my personal brand statement was, I want to be the go-to person in the PR and communications world. That was for me what I wanted to be, the go-to person. And I get that. I get people calling me, I get invited to things, I get contracts, I get clients, because I deliberately, that was what I set out to be. I wanted to Google myself. Have any of you Googled yourselves? Do you like what you find? You're very young. You've already got things you don't like on Google. Already? Oh my God. And once it's out there, it's out there. You know that. Okay? So you best be careful about your personal brand, because once it's out there, you can't take it off. I have a client who'd been trying, he had a court case, and he won, he finished, but the Uganda Law Society had uploaded the things on Google, on their website. So it's there. So I have been battling with Google to try and take it down. But it's such a process. You can have it removed, but it's a process. So, to prevent all that, try and not do anything that you don't want to be out there. Like we say for social media etiquette, if you won't say it in real life, if you won't do it in real life, please don't put it on social media. Okay? So don't pretend that now because I'm playing my keyboard, nobody will see me. Trust me, everybody will see. And you will not like it. You won't like it at all. So, we've got that. Identify what you want to be known for. Then, once you know that, identify your target audience. Do you know what a target audience is? When you have a product, because now remember we're thinking of ourselves as a company, as a product, so you are looking for your audience. Audience are your customers, your clients. Now for instance, me, I am in the public relations world, communications, branding, media, events management. So my audience are people in the media houses, or even all clients who require services that I offer, and event companies, celebrities, entertainers, people like that. So I know my audience, I network with them, I go out to find them, they know me, so that they can be aware of what I can do for them. So it's very important to know who you want to target. Now, for instance, Miss Nutritionist, you will have to look out for the people who you think need diets, that nutritional help. So you sit down, you think creatively, you think about what you're trying to become, who will respect it, who will honor it. Is it making sense? Once you've done that, invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself. Educate yourself. Self-educate. Don't just wait to see the lecturer and that's when, the only knowledge you get. You have to go out there. And that's another thing, by the way, that I found, especially when we're dealing with recent people who leave university. They're so myopic in their thinking. They don't want to think outside the box. I don't know. That's why I was telling you yesterday, I don't know what's happening. People are not thinking. Like how Tito had just made us do that exercise. Critical thinking. You have to sit down and think. Be creative. Because now we need people who take initiative. I can't leave you in the office and then with a problem, and then a problem happens, and then you sit there and you say, you are waiting for me. I will just be so, at least show me you tried to find a solution. Try to take initiative. And that's what I found. People now, you just wait. And you're lucky. You're the generation that has information on your fingertips. Google is our friend. You don't even have, you don't even have to leave your house. Google is your friend. You just Google and get everything. So I don't understand why I would leave, a problem would happen, and I find the same problem, without even possibilities of solutions. So you have to really invest in yourself, you have to research and think, and educate yourself. Okay. What we like to do in personal branding, what is important is knowing your value proposition. Do you know what a value proposition is? Do you know what a value proposition is? Are there any people here doing like the arts world, not sciences, the arts? Yeah? Not marketing, but which course are you doing? Which one? Yeah, like you. Do you know? Sorry, your name? Shakira, yeah. So do you know what value proposition is? Everybody needs to know. A value proposition is something that distinguishes you from the next person. Now like a product, because now like why would you go to Shell and not Total? Why would you buy Colgate and not Close-Up or Aquafresh? The value proposition. So that means that company, that brand, they have put in research, money into making sure that when you are faced with these two products, there is a reason you choose this one. So that is your value proposition. Even us as human beings, as people, as brands, we're trying to build ourselves, we must have a value proposition, something that differentiates us. Because you're going to, and like I told you, the world is now so competitive. You're going to go there, you all have your degrees, you all have, you know, you worked hard. Why should I take you over you? So you must have, and that, you know, that's where your personal branding comes. Because if you know that you must have something that you're selling that Jane is not selling. So you must be able to understand your value proposition, enhance it, and, you know, make sure that it gets bigger and better. So that, you know, if it's your strength, build on it. Guys, I cannot stress the importance of knowing your value proposition. Your leverage, what we call your leverage. Why should I pick you over you? Every time. Whenever you're in a supermarket, at a kiosk, buying airtime, always think about it. It's not by accident that you're picking MTN over Airtel. It's not. MTN has done it such that when you get there, you will pick MTN. You know, by working on your mind, on your choices, targeting you, profiling you so that they know once Isma reaches the canteen, he's going to pick this instead of this. So knowing your value proposition, you're going to all finish, graduate, and then you're going to be, you know, there are not as many jobs, there are not as many opportunities, you're going to be hustling. So, know that you have to be better than the next person. Strive for that. Okay? Then, in doing that, you find out, in helping yourself know your value proposition, find out how other people see you. You know, ask your friends, ask your peers, ask your family, ask your relatives, how do people see you? Just for your own self-knowledge. You know? Now, like for me personally, I'm very impatient. I'm very time conscious, and I lost friendships over my time consciousness. Because for me, I cannot tolerate people who can't keep time. I just don't understand it. There's a friend of mine who likes it, he's also very time conscious. If you take my time, I will take yours. So but obviously, this is because knowing the society we live in, but I refuse to tolerate mediocrity. I refuse. Because people, we make a lot of excuses. But, you know that's how Ugandans are. No. You're the new generation. Change that. Change it. Don't just be now like, because now I have my daughter, she's so different because I have instilled in her now from there, so that she doesn't also reach and say, oh, that's how. But what worries me all the time is other parents who are not doing the same, so she will get there and get frustrated. Because people don't keep time, people don't keep their words, people are not bothered. Because that's how Ugandans are. No, let's now stop that. You change it, you're the new generation, you can change it. You have time now. So you know, try and be better than us. Try and be better than us. We were trying to be better than our parents, but you know, I'm hoping by the time you guys will be better. So find out how people see you, your friends, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are. Ask, and don't be shy. It's good to know. It's Grace Gano said, don't shun criticism. Don't shun. When I was when I joined MTN, I joined as a personal assistant to Eric Van Veen. He was the head of marketing. Very big man. He was a very big persona. So obviously, when I joined, he was being his personal assistant was like being the mini boss. So it was very obviously the rest of the departments, the rest of the company, they hear you, they come to talk to you like, and I would always be, and I like to think I did not abuse my authority, but it was interesting to watch how people treated me because of who my boss was. Then I was promoted to become the public relations manager. Now, when that happened, obviously, you know how they say, proximity to power breeds power. Because I was closer, like when, when you stop paying the PPS to the president, all of a sudden now even you have to make appointments, even you have to, ask for this. So obviously now that went. But I think in my mind, because we had created such a bond, a relationship, a friendship, to this day, he's my very good friend. So it was easy for me to just, pass the office and just go. But now my peers in the department, they didn't like that about me. And I'll tell you, it was very challenging for me to try and now move from being the boss's PA to being with my fellow peers. And it was hard, because being the public relations manager, what happens in the company, whenever anyone is launching a product or has anything to share with the media, with customers, it's the PR person who does that, coordinates, writes, and all of that. But now they would fear to come to me. And that would really, until we had an administrator, so she one time took me for tea, and she sat me down. And I was forever thankful to her, because I know it must have been very brave of her. So she told me, Sheila, there are other members of the department are saying you're a bit too much, you're too tough, you're too close to Eric, they don't know how to approach you, every time they have their campaigns to run, they keep thinking, oh, Sheila. And I was like, what? These guys I laugh with every day? She said, yeah, so they've been very... Anyway, I just felt I had to tell you, because I'm seeing you're also frustrated in your job because you're not being able to deliver, and they're also not being able to deliver. I was forever grateful, because that day I went, and like you said, I gave myself a good talking to in the mirror and started changing. Because, and I do not lie when I tell you, my relationships with my workmates improved. It improved so much. I knew exactly now what was wrong with me, what they were saying is wrong with me, why they can't approach me, why they are thinking it's hard to work with me. So it was helpful. It was helpful, and it contributed to them supporting me in my role and me supporting them. And me obviously becoming who I became. Because there's no way I would have done it if I'd never had that with Flavia. Never. I would have never known, I would have still thought, been thinking I'm still up here. And yet I went down to the level of my peers, I listened, and we supported each other, and my career took off. And that was such a huge milestone for me, because it was very frustrating not knowing what I am doing wrong. That's why it's important to know. And asking is not bad. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask people you associate with. But what do you think of me? What do you think I do well? What do you think I don't do well? What do you think I should stop doing? And then you go back, you reflect. You reflect, if what they're saying has some truth, so that you know now how to work on yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. is prioritizing yourself. Most often what happens, we enter a workplace or we have a community, a society, and we focus on that. We forget ourselves. When I joined MTN, I remember my first day with Eric. He asked me, Sheila, what do you want from this job? I mean, MTN was huge. It was big. I was even in shock that I got the job. Eric Van Veen was this mega star, professional on the, he was just the man. So he asked me, what do you want from this job? Then I told him, you know what? I want to Google myself. That's what I remember. I told him, I want to Google myself. That time I wasn't. I went to Google, I wasn't even there. Who even knew me? Nobody knew me. So he said, okay. So he told me, I'm going to teach you how to read. You have to learn about the industry. You have to learn about marketing, about branding. I'm going to share with you what I know. Eric is a huge guru in marketing and branding here in South Africa as well. So I said, I want that. And then he told me something that I will never forget. He said, use MTN because MTN is going to use you. I said, thank you for that. I will never forget that. That's where prioritizing yourself comes from. I see my friends, my peers who are working day and night, have no time for family, for friends, for children, toiling for the company. And it's using you. And trust, I would like to say in the corporate world, if you die, after they replace, by the way, they move on. They move on. So prioritize yourself. Me, I'll never forget that. Use MTN because MTN is going to use you. And man, do they use. Because we worked hard. We worked very hard, but it was worth it because the exposure, the training,